welcome. So, if you are new here, let me know. If you're staying, let me know. Because I know there's people who get notifications. The algorithm pushes it out to regular people, and sometimes people come and go. So, if you're new here, let me know. Um, and we're gonna wait like usually. I like to wait like 5 minutes or so, sometimes even 10 minutes, but depending on how many people come at first and stay, we'll get started earlier. But I like to give it like 5 minutes. But if you would like a reading, um, please put in the comments reading, and I'm going to go in order. So let me know now, and I'll just kind of like make a note of who wants or who comments reading first, and then we'll go down the list. Happy full moon, by the way. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta get cute. Happy full moon, by the way. Yeah. And, oh my gosh. Mercury retrograde is over. I think. I feel like it's like at a specific time. Let me get my handy dandy astrology book. I think, let's see exactly what time Mercury retrograde is gonna be over. At 12:56 p.m. PT, specific time. So whatever that translates in yours. So for me, I'm in Eastern time, so that'll be like 3 o'clock, 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern time. But anyways, wow. Okay, so I'm still waiting. So if you would like a reading, please comment reading in the comment section. With these readings, I'm going to do astrology I'll pull some cards for you. But you could all okay. So if you know your exact time of birth for your astrology, that would be perfect. But if you don't, it's okay. All I would need is just your birthday. Like my birthday is January, like any month, date, and year. And then I can go off of that. But if you have your whole details, like your time of birth and all that, that would be even cooler. So yeah. Also, I promoted this on my YouTube channel or like on my socials. So if you're here from my dress creation socials, I would love to know too. Like, let me know in the comments. And don't be shy. But I guess while we're waiting, so let me kind of tell you guys a little bit about the full moon, okay? If you don't even know what a full moon is, the full moon is when the moon represents our feelings and our emotions. It represents what we need to fulfill, to feel like fulfilled physically and emotionally. It's kind of like our self-care. So whenever a sign is in the, like, pretty much the energy that we may be feeling is Gemini energy, because the full moon is in Gemini. So anyways, let me back up a little bit. So the moon represents what we need to be fulfilled, like what we need to be secured, and it's tied to our emotions. And because it's full, that means that whatever we were feeling before the moon went full, like say we were doing really, really good in life and we were feeling really happy, so you're probably it's just gonna hide in those feelings. But if you've been struggling in certain areas in your life, that the full moon is going to bring those emotions up. Like, imagine your feelings swelling up and getting like full to a point to where it needs a release of some sort. And I think subconsciously, if you didn't even know about the full moon, it wouldn't be like ironic if you, for example, I don't know, like something came up to where it triggered those full feelings that you feel about something that you are not maybe like the happiest in your life, or maybe you're feeling really joyful, so then it just heightens that. Like, for example, it's in the sign, so now we think of what sign it's in. That's going to characterize our feelings and our emotions. It's in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury. Mercury represents our thoughts and our communication. It's how we think, it's how we speak. So Gemini is very much like mentally likes to be mentally stimulated, likes to like be like doing multiple things at once, thinking a lot. Sometimes like doing so many things or learning so many things that it starts a lot of things and doesn't finish it. You may have like multiple interests. You may just be doing a lot too. And also wanting to talk. Like that is a big thing. Like talking, socializing, sharing your ideas with people, or sharing your thoughts with people, or being very opinionated. Even maybe sometimes super gossipy. Like this is like around the time where like you just want to like share and connect with people. But like for example, this also could cause like, I don't know, like if you've been meaning to have a serious conversation with someone or get stuff off your chest, and you have like a lot of feelings behind that, and then you have that conversation with someone, I mean, it can go either really good or really not the best, because like this energy feels like very chatty, and you want to release your emotions. Talking about this release that we're happening, because our emotions are feeling full. You want to release that through like talking, or even writing it out. But most likely it's like socializing and like talking, or maybe you just keep yourself super busy. For me, it's, as an astrologer, I kind of try to make notes of like what I'm doing throughout the day and how it could connect. And I know for me, I've been like doing a lot. Like my life feels like busy, like busier than normal. Even though I've been like home, I've been like cleaning, and then I've been like cooking, and then I've been like doing a bunch of different tasks, which usually it would be kind of hard for me to do, because I can get easily distracted, and I don't know, I'm not the best multitasker, to be honest. But with this, like, since the moon has been in Gemini, I've been really good at multitasking and like knocking stuff off my list and like doing multiple things, and just keeping busy, but also like keeping your mind busy, because it's in Gemini, it's Gemini rule. So it's like, while I'm cleaning or doing all this stuff, I'm listening. Like I've been having to listen to things a lot. Like I literally yesterday like had like a YouTube video playing, like a podcast playing, multiple, like all throughout the day. And if not that, I was listening to like music, but I like needed my mind to be like stimulated, like throughout everything that I was doing. So those are just like different examples. Okay. So now what do I want to do? So by the way, if you would like a reading, I'm still waiting for people to comment if they want a reading so I can give you a reading. And I'm going to go in order. But I also wanted to tell you, which may be very kind of like a little thing for you to think about. So now there's a release that's happening in some sort, usually like through communicating or like keeping busy, doing multiple things. You want to just release whatever energy that's pent up inside of you in some way. Or it's just going to be natural. I don't even know. Like, once again, if you're not conscious of it, think about it. Like, think about how you feel right now, or maybe in the past couple of days, like what has come up for you. And just also keep notice for the next couple of days after this. But also, the full moon is the completion of a 6-month-long cycle, okay? This is something that I would mostly be talking about in my women's circle that I'm going to be hosting today, because I'm hosting a full moon women's circle. And this is kind of more details, so you're kind of getting like more details of this full moon and how you can connect it. So I don't know if all of you guys know about a new moon. Do you know about new moons and full moons? New moons is the start of something. So 6 months ago, you started something in your life, whether you, once again, subconscious or subconscious, there were some new feelings that you had for something. Let's see when was 6 months ago exactly. When was the new moon in Gemini? That was June 6, 2024. Does anybody know what they were doing in June? I sure don't. I have terrible memory, but the beautiful thing about it is that I journal often, which is like why, as an astrologer, I would say, like, or anybody who's like learning astrology and trying to actually apply it to their real life and actually see the connections, it's helpful to journal, so then you can kind of go back and be like, oh, da, da. But anyways, yeah, so think about what you were doing in June 6th. What is something that, like, some new beginning that it was started, or just something new, that you, like a new idea or just something new that happened in your life. And now, 6 months later, you may be consciously, subconsciously, like reflecting back on that moment or feeling like a completion of that. Like whatever you started, you're probably like, I mean, you could be like, like thinking about how far you come from then, and then maybe realizing like, okay, like I want to take this, like I did good in this area, but now I feel like this part of me wants to complete that chapter. Like I've grown past it, or maybe it doesn't like serve you for your future. So anyways, I don't know. It could be different. But anyways, I thought while we're still waiting on people, I feel like because no one said they wanted a reading, so I'll continue chatting until then. So I'm gonna actually go in my journal and see. After I do this, if nobody still has not said that they want a reading, I would just maybe pull some cards because I don't want it to just be like anyways, let's see. So let's see if I have a June 6th. Let's see. I'll read to you, I guess, what I was going through. Maybe I do. June 11th. Let's see. June 10th. We're almost there. Please, please. Oh my gosh, I did it. Okay, thank you. Yay. So I actually wrote something during June 6th. Let's see if it applies to my current life right now. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm scared because I never read this. I don't know what I'm going to say. If it's something crazy, I'm just going to blink out certain things just to not put my whole personal business out there. Okay, I said, oh wow, I was talking to God this day. Okay. I said, Dear God, I thank you so much for all that you do and have done for me. I am truly, truly grateful for you. I got a job today. I got the random intuitive guidance to call this metaphysical shop that was not too far from me, and to see if they were hiring. The owner picked up the phone and she said that she was actually reviewing applications in that moment, and I'm welcome to come in and fill out one. So I did. I also had my brother with me, which was special because it was it was just special. Okay. We had a good talk. She scheduled my interview for today, and guess what? I got the job. Okay, so I got a new job. Interesting. And, okay, hold on. In my meditation. Alright, let's see what else I'm going to say. I think that will be, like, the base of that. I got a new job. Did I talk about anywhere in this Gemini? Did I say anything about a Gemini moon? Okay, I'm still checking in. It's also really hard because I was like scrabbling. Sometimes when you journal, you don't really like focus on. I think that's the base though. I started a new job in that area in my life. You know? Okay, let me talk to you guys about something. So, that's relevant for me because at the beginning of this year, my New Year's goal, my 2024 goal was to, and I'm only telling you guys about my experience so you can think about your experience. That's the only reason why I'm telling you guys this, so you guys can see how astrology plays out like in a real person's life, because that is the type of astrology I like to teach. I don't like to just give information and say like, okay, this is the moon, da-da-da-da, and like, I don't, for me, it doesn't stick with me. I have to actually be able to apply it realistically to my life and intentionally to understand things better and the deeper meaning to things and blah, 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 the connections. So, earlier this year, my 2024 goal was to start my business, which I wanted it to be Healthy Girl Healing. I made a website, I did all of that. The website's not up right now, but I did, and then I started out, I wanted to be an astrologer, so I wanted to do that. And I wanted to host events that connected like-minded people together, meaning people who were into astrology, people who were into spiritual wellness and more spiritually connected. Those were the two main things that I wanted. And so I decided that I was going to offer services, like for people who wanted to know more about themselves, which would be the readings, and then people who wanted to connect with community and have like that thing, find their like friends in their group. I was gonna offer like monthly virtual like circles. I started off with it being just for women mainly because I don't know, I just felt like called to do women's circles specifically at that time, so I wanted to do that. So at the time, I was very also learning to trust my intuition, and so I did. I would just say, so anyways, I did that because my intuition wanted to do that. At the time though, I had been in the middle, like I had just left a job because of just like life stuff, and I decided to take a risk and take some time off from that job to like go for my dreams, which is doing the Healthy Girl Healing. So I ended up spending money on like classes and courses because I wanted to be good at what I do. I don't want to just call myself an astrologer and not have like, you know, like credentials behind that or whatever. So I like spent money studying and, you know, qualifying myself to where I thought so to be deemed as an astrologer or whatever. And then after that, I like created my website, and then I started I created a social media account for Healthy Girl Healing, and I connected with people, blah, blah, blah. And then I ended up hosting like my first like virtual events and stuff. So throughout that time though, I was very ambitious about that, so much so that I don't think I was practical, because I thought that I would be able to start a business up that was making enough, like that was able to, because it wasn't about the income, but obviously if I'm gonna not have a job, I was like, okay, it's okay, because I'll like build this business up and it'll be able to support me. Well, newsflash, if you ever want to start a business, it's definitely going to take like a good year or two for you to get to a point to where you're bringing in enough money to like survive off of. But for me, I was like, but I'm listening to my intuition, okay? My intuition is telling me that it wants to do this, so I'm going to listen to it. And so I did, and I listened to my intuition, and hell, let me tell you, I ended up doing it. I ended up creating the business. I ended up having people come to my virtual women's circles. I did offer some readings, but in the end of it, a couple months later, it was building slowly, but I was really getting into a point where I was financially struggling, like a lot. And I was so frustrated because I'm like, well, I'm listening to my intuition, like, why I'm, like, you know, like, why am I, like, struggling like this? And anyways, so long story short, I had to get a job. I'm, like, going through, like, when I say long story short, because there was a lot of emotions that tied into that, because I gave up so, like, a lot. Like, I spent money that I shouldn't have, like, I didn't do things, like, the wise, like, practically. I wasn't thinking that because I was, like, so focused. This was me first time kind of, like, learning about intuition and trusting your intuition. And I didn't realize that balance was needed with that. Because obviously we still live in a world that we have to survive in financially. So, feel free, once again, if anybody wants a reading, let me know in the comment section. Just comment reading. But anyways, this story's almost done. But yeah, so I was so disappointed. Because for a lot of my life, I was like working, like I had worked at a metaphysical store before, and honestly, well, I would say what happened is like I worked there for a year and I wasn't like getting paid what I was worth, at the time, and plus I always wanted to like do my own thing and start my own business. And then like a family member that I was super close to, my grandma passed away. I had to like go to California with her for multiple months, and then I ended up within that time frame realized I wasn't happy at that metaphysical job for multiple reasons, because I just wasn't getting paid my worth, and because I actually just wanted to do my own thing and not work under someone, because that's just my personality. Like I like need the freedom and always wanted to like have my own business, so I used that. So then I had to think about getting another job. I was like, okay, if I'm gonna be starting my business, like it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna take a while to get to a point. So I need to have like a part-time job to where it pays all my bills, and then I can do my Healthy Girl Healing business on the side. So I kind of thought like, because I'm also a social media marketer, so I'm good at social media marketing. And there was a lot of jobs where I could have went to that was in big companies looking for social media marketing that would have paid me really well, but it was full time, and I got a lot of and I didn't. I don't know. I just didn't want to do it because I knew that was gonna take up all my time. So I decided, what is something where could I work part time and still be happy? Because for me, the thing about me is I have to enjoy what I'm doing. Like I just know, like I have to. So I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna go back to getting a job, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I do still like, it will make sense for me to work at a metaphysical store, because that is like tied to what I'm doing already. But then when I like looked up on like Indeed or whatever, like there was no metaphysical stores. There was none anywhere. So I was like, there was none hiring. But I do remember like passing by one, like kind of in the area, and I was like, I don't know, something made me like randomly like think about to call them that a certain day, and I called, and then da da da. So anyways, the point is it's so interesting how there's like people that came on that didn't want to do a reading. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just like chatting and talking. That's so interesting. Yeah, that's so interesting. Okay, so anyways, the point is, I, um, but yeah, so the point is I started that job because I needed to have, to get like financial support while I was starting my Healthy Girl Healing business. But then, like, I ended up losing, when I started the job, I started to be like a social media marketer for them and everything like that, and I enjoyed it. I really did. And the owner is amazing, and she has like changed my life, because she like ended up telling me that I could host my women's circles there and do astrology there. And so that was the first time I started doing like astrology, like everything that I wanted to do in my Healthy Girl Healing business. I started doing that like in person. And I didn't think that I was gonna get to in person like events for a long time, because I knew I wanted to like have my own like brick and mortar business at some point, to have like a studio to where I offered my Healthy Girl Healing services that was virtually. But yeah, so that's why I started that. So now I'm thinking about the new moon in Gemini, and it was like me starting this new job that I wanted to just use as like support as I still establish my own thing. But because like, I don't know, I just kind of, as I started working for her, or for that just metaphysical shop, and I enjoyed it so much to where I kind of I forgot that I was about my own stuff, which tends to happen to me quite often, because like I'm a passionate person. So if I like work on a project, especially for other people, like I just kind of get super engulfed in it, to where I kind of forget about my own stuff. And so that has happened now. And now I'm at a point in my life to where I am starting to want to do my own things again as well. And I'm starting to think about Healthy Girl Healing again, and wanting to like, oh yeah, like I forgot about that, like, And so that is kind of, I feel like, my new moon, or full moon kind of thing that I'm thinking about. If you would like a reading, please comment reading in the description box below. Right now I'm just kind of talking about how this new moon, or how this full moon applies to me personally. Um, but pretty much saying like, the full moon is the end of a 6 month long cycle. So something new happened in your life around June 16th, or the month of June. And if you can think back to what that time was, you would kind of understand what you are kind of going to be like looking back on, or maybe releasing or putting a close to a chapter, an end to a chapter or something in your life at this point. For me, I started a new job. I started that new job to be like a part-time job for me, to bring in money while I was starting because I wanted to start my own business, which is Healthy Girl Healing. But then I realized that it was going to take a long time for me to make enough money to actually like do this long term. So I was like, okay, I need to get a job. So I started to get a job at a metaphysical business that does crystals and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, the point is I started working at that business, and I was a social media marketer for them, and I ended up forgetting about like Healthy Girl Healing and my own thing, because I just got super passionate into it. But yeah, so now though, I've been starting, like, I've got the urge to like start focusing on that again, like my Healthy Girl Healing business, and like regrowing it again, and actually like taking it seriously again, as while I'm still working my job, because it fulfills me. And I felt kind of like at a certain point like a little bit like not empty, but like it feels good to help another business. But if I'm not like, that was never like my like end goal, is to just help other people. Like I started it to just help me financially. Well, until I get to a point to where I'm able to just do Healthy Girl Healing or have my business full time. But I kind of lost sight of that because I really enjoyed my job. So now I think my full moon is like me looking back and feeling so happy and proud of how far I've come, and so happy and grateful for this metaphysical. Okay. Alright, so pretty much, long story short, I feel like right now my full moon theme, like my full moon story, I guess, is me like looking back and being so happy and proud of how far I've come, and also very grateful to be like connected to this metaphysical store, and like finding it and working for it, and even the owner, who is like so amazing. I do feel like I'm valued here, and I feel like I'm like definitely like worthy, and she makes me feel amazing, and I'm able to help her, and it's like it feels fulfilling. But I couldn't help that part deep down inside of me that still wanted to have something of my own. And like now I'm starting to kind of like start to get back to that. And yeah, so I think I'm closing the chapter in my life to where I don't know, kind of just like focused on just the job, and now I really want to create stuff of my own again. So that's one of the things, but also I feel like I'm closing a chapter in my life that has to do with more personal stuff that I won't talk about right here. That's the beauty of the women's circles, because it's more of an intimate space. So I can like, I'll probably be like a little bit more whatever feelings. Usually those are like kind of emotional, because everybody's going through their own different things. And anyways, like I said, the full moon brings up like emotions and stuff. So yeah. And like I said, the Gemini is all about like doing like multitasking, focusing on a lot of things at once. And sometimes, like, so much so that you just kind of like dabble into multiple things, but you don't like finish what you started. You're just kind of like, there's like, imagine, I think of Gemini, like, this is not probably like, but in my head I have an image of like a Gemini being surrounded by a bunch of things, like open books and things that they started, and just like I don't know, a bunch of things that are just like that things that they like got interested in, but then like they never completed because, or like multiple like like multiple interests, or just things like, because they're always like dibbling and dabbling in multiple things at once. And sometimes, once again, it's great because that's the beauty of like Gemini, because they know a lot, because they like are very curious beings, and like learn and like do multiple things, and they're very like active and all that stuff. But sometimes they can never like complete kind of something. And then also the Gemini energy is very social. And for me, if I think back to it, like this metaphysical store was like, I was way social. Like, it was a very social place. It's funny because the owner has a Gemini placement in her chart. I know because I gave her a reading. and she's very social. But I think this, and at the start of the new moon, it made me kind of like have a more social life again, because I was like working from home and working in my own business, and even though I was hosting women's circles, those are just like once a month or whatever. So anyways, I don't know. So I think and also I do a lot. I've done like multiple things, like oh my gosh, like there's a lot of things that I'm doing at that job. So much so, like I said, that I just felt like I didn't have enough time to like focus on my own things anymore. But anyways, but now I know that I feel in my heart that I definitely want to start like doing my own things again, as well as my job. But I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna balance the two. So yeah, that's my story. That's one of my full moon themes. Like I said, there's other personal things, but that's something that I can give like advice on. So think about it for you. Think about how does that play out for you. Yeah. So it's so interesting. Let me tell you guys. So I'm on the Whatnot app, right? And I started off this app. I opened it, and there was like more people that usually is here when I first start. Hi, if you would like a reading, please comment reading in the comment section. Today's a full moon, and I am an astrologer, and I also sometimes add oracle cards. And if you would like a reading, let me know. But I'm kind of talking about this energy and how it applies to me, whatever. I just finished that actually, but I was just saying how it's interesting, the energy today, because like when I started this Whatnot live, or this show, there was like more people that was there than I've ever had. Not that it was like that many people. There was like 4 people, but that's like usually more than, because people aren't usually up this early. So, but then I was like, this is a new thing that I decided to do, which is like offer live readings, like intentionally just have a show focused on that. And even though there was like more people than I've had on here, and when I first started, and I said to do like, let me know if you want a reading, there was like no one that said that they wanted readings. And so in my head I was like, that's interesting, because I thought that that's what people would have wanted. And actually it's funny, because in the past, because I've been doing this, I've been challenging myself to post on Whatnot, or do shows on Whatnot, and I usually just talk about the current astrology and I apply it to my life. But then recently I've gotten comments like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be selling something. Like, are you supposed to be doing something? And which is funny, I know everybody's going to have their own opinions, but I've gotten that like 2 times in a row in a day, okay? So anyways, I decided to like host a show specifically to like, you know, offer readings, and if people want like a fuller reading, then they can get my actual astrology reading. And the first time that I do that, like nobody wants a reading. So I'm just kind of like, huh? Like, what's happening here? So anyways, if you would like a reading, comment reading in the description, but I mean not in the description, just comment reading. I just got finished talking about what the full moon means and how it can apply to your life, and I also gave an example of like what I'm going to be releasing, or what I feel, what my emotions feel like, and whatever release I'm going through, how the full moon applies to me. So now, though, I'm going to like pull general cards because I've been here for a good 36 minutes waiting for people to waiting to give a reading to someone, but nobody wants a reading today, which is interesting. So I guess I'll just do a general reading. Which is fine. Anything else happening today? Oh yeah, Mercury is stationing retrograde. Oh, we're gonna be done with this Mercury retrograde. Thank freaking goodness. Oh my gosh, so things will be moving. How do you have to know to give someone a reading? Or what do you have to know to give someone a reading? Oh, well, if you want the most detailed reading, I would just need to know your date of birth, your exact time of birth. If you want a detailed one, you don't have to. If you don't know your exact time, I don't need it. Like, you can't give me a range, because if it's off by 1 minute, it'll just change your whole chart. So if you know your exact time, perfect. If not, then just give me your birthday, like your month, date, and year, and then tell me where you were born, like what area, city, and state, and that's it. That's all. So yeah, your date of birth and your your place of birth, your area of birth. Or if you want it to be more simple, you could just tell me what your astrology sign is. But I could know that, and that'll be more simple. I won't be able to go into more detail, but I mean, whatever's easier for you guys. So yeah, but we'll pull some cards in until anybody lets me know that they want a reading, and we'll see what comes out. Okay, there was one card already that came out. All right, I didn't even say anything. I like to kind of usually say like, take a couple deep breaths for me, and then I like to just say like, please connect me to the collective energy for those who are watching this video, or who's gonna stumble upon this video on Whatnot, on my YouTube channel, on all my socials. What is their guidance for this full moon? What do they need to know and be reminded of at this time? Okay. Oh my gosh, this card again. So funny how sometimes when they're saying the same cards that come out. Okay, I like to like pull all the cards first before I like say them. Let's see if there's any other cards that want to come out. Maybe one more. Any other guidance that they need to know at this time? No, I think maybe. We may just start with that. Let's see. Oh gosh, too many. No, see, I don't want that. No, I hate when there's like a bunch of cards that come out, because like sometimes you're like, why did that need to come out? Like, that's too much. I don't know. Let's just start with what came out right now, okay? So the first card is interesting. It's not personal. So that asks me something that maybe happened to not take it personally. So that makes me think of, I don't know if you're like overthinking something, which with this Gemini moon energy, probably, know whatever it is that you're kind of like overthinking, to not take it personal. It's not you, it's them, or it's the energy. I know this is kind of applying to me a little bit because I'm feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling so weird because I thought that if I were to come on here and like offer free readings for people, like who wouldn't want a free reading? And it's weird that people are not wanting a free reading. I thought that would be like the most like this is very like and it makes me think like wow, this is interesting, especially because I tried something new today. And usually I'll just get on camera and talk about the general. I'll talk generally and then I'll apply it to my own personal life. Um, so it's interesting, very interesting. So, anyways, if there is something that someone said to you or like I don't know. If someone said something to you or someone acted a weird way towards you or is currently or something around those lines, don't take it personal. It's not personal. It's them and not like you. Or if something isn't like moving quickly in your life or maybe you're not getting the result that you want, it's also well, that could be. I don't know if that would apply to that, but this feels more social. So if there was something said or something like something around those lines, somebody's giving you kind of some sort of energy, just don't take it personally that it's them, not you energy. And then we have the Queen of Swords, which is, the swords represents your mental. And I'm going to use my handy dandy AI to tell me what, because I only use oracle cards, and I'm just starting to use tarot. I know swords represents your mind and the way you communicate, but that's about it. If you would like a reading, by the way, because I do more astrology and oracle readings, but I also like to incorporate tarot just for fun, because I know a lot of people like tarot, but because I'm more intuitive based, I guess, tarot throws me off because there's like meanings behind tarot already. So, let's see, this Queen of Swords reversed. When the Queen of Swords tarot appears reversed, it can mean certain things such as letting emotions rule. You may be letting your emotions overpower your reason. Lack of empathy. You may be lacking empathy, which can lead to rude or malicious behaviors. Holding grudges. Is it calling anyone out here? You may be holding grudges and not learning from your past experiences. Repressed trauma. You may have repressed trauma that needs to be addressed. Cold or absent mother figure. You may be experiencing a cold or absent mother figure. Gossip and manipulation. You may be involved in gossip and manipulation. That is very Gemini energy right here. Because the moon is in Gemini and it's full, which means our emotions are going to feel full at its peak, very heightened, and there needs to be some release of some sort, which may come naturally or may come through you like snapping on somebody. I don't know. Or it could become, or you can like bury those emotions that you feel by just like doing a lot, keeping yourself busy and stuff like that. So, anyways, I don't know. Also, bitterness and spite. You may be feeling bitter and spiteful. And vindictive nature. You may be feeling vindictive. Oh my gosh. What? So yeah, like a tendency to let your emotions overpower your reason. Well then, does that identify with you guys? Anybody? Anybody out there want to put their self on blast and be honest with themselves? That's interesting. Okay. So now we're going to do the Five of Cups. Five of Cups, and that came reversed too. Okay, so when the Five of Cups appears, it generally signifies a shift towards healing, letting go of past regrets. Okay, Okay, tarot cards, tuning into to the energy. Yes, we love that. The current energy with this full moon, letting go. It generally signifies a shift towards healing, letting go of past regrets, and embracing new beginnings. Essentially, it suggests you are moving on from a loss or disappointment and are ready to focus on the positive aspects of a situation rather than dwelling on the negative. I love that. I love that for us. um, so some more detailed interpretations could be moving past some sort of grief. You are starting to process a loss and are ready to move forward with a more positive perspective. Now remember, grief doesn't have to be actual, and it's most of the time not an actual grief. It could be, but it could be like a loss. Grief is a loss of something, a loss of a job or a relationship or an opportunity or something, and you're just kind of like, or a loss of your old self, you're grieving like an old part of you or something. It could be. So you're moving past some sort of grief perhaps. Self-forgiveness. You are letting go of self-blame and are willing to forgive yourself for past mistakes. Finding silver linings. You are starting to see opportunities for growth and potential positives, even in a challenging situation. New beginnings. The pain of a loss is subsiding, perhaps, allowing you to open yourself up to new experiences and relationships. And lastly, a positive outlook. You are actively choosing to focus on the future rather than dwelling on the past. So I love that. I love the reverse. So if you can let go of past regrets, you can move into this like new beginnings energy. Which maybe means that you need to not take whatever that you have been experiencing personally. It's either a part of your own growth thing to teach you, to grow you, or maybe it has to do with the person. And once again, maybe you need to, maybe don't take it personally because maybe that person is going through their own things that has nothing to do with you. And it's don't blame yourself, I guess, in a sense. Good morning, Nine Dimes. You always come when we're closing up here, but maybe, just maybe, you'll be my first reading for today. Because let me tell you something. I decided to do something different and new today. And I decided to because it's the full moon energy today, I was like, you know what? I'll do free readings for people. And that'll be just the only thing that I do today. Instead of talking about general readings and applying it to my life and blah, blah, blah. And so I also decided to go and input my information now. So I offer readings and I decided to do some research and better myself on this Whatnot app, right? And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this will be so great. And then there's people who came in. I also marketed I kind of told my social media people or my other social media that I was doing this. And for the first time, when I first started this show, there was 4 people on here, which is a lot for me because usually there's not that many people that come when I first start. And I'm thinking people are gonna be I'm gonna be you get a reading, you get a reading, you get a reading, and the crowd is gonna go wild and everybody's gonna want a reading. And so I say that, I tell everyone, let me know if in the comments if you would like a reading, and no one comments anything. And I'm just okay, that's not what I expected, but all right. Well, don't all people go at once. Don't go at once, guys. Take your time while you're talking, while you're thinking about whatever you're typing. I would just kind of talk about the general meaning of this full moon and how it applies. I use myself as an example. I even went back and got my journal and everything like that. Sorry, you missed that all. You'll have to watch the replay because I'm not going to be able to watch that. I'm not going to be able to redo that because I have 10 minutes and I have to go to work today. But anyways, the point is, it's just funny because I tried to do something new and it flopped. And it was interesting because I would expect people to want a free reading. And I'm just kind of okay, that's interesting. So anyways, I don't know. I'm just ranting. But I hope you're doing well. If you don't want a reading today, that's totally fine. Don't feel pressured to. But if you do, you can comment in this. You can let me know. But if not, dang, yeah, you just missed. You just kind of like missed. I can pull a card for you, I guess, if that would be kind of like easier. You kind of, yeah, did miss a little bit of everything, but let's just pull a card. Would you like me to pull a general card, or do you want me to pull a card for you specifically? Let me know, since it's just me and you now. And you're Gemini too, right? You said. So you are... Okay, I think I'll pull a card for you. Because, yeah, what is something... Because I was saying how the full moon makes your feelings become heightened. And it's usually like heightening feelings that you already feel. Like if everything's going well in your life, then for full moons, it's just gonna like make you feel kind of more good. And you also may be busier, because I feel like Gemini energy is very like, I don't call it scattered, but I call it very like doing multiple things at once, multitasking, busy, using your mind a lot. I feel like just like there's a lot of mind charge, there's a lot of like things you're thinking about and doing and da-da-da all at once. I view Geminis like with multiple arms and able to like accomplish multiple things at once. I admire it because I'm a slow person. Like I have to complete a task, and I also am not good at multitasking. And I think Gemini's energy is like really good at multitasking. Yeah, and super busy. But I was saying before, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, please, let me know what guidance does 9 Dimes need at this time. What does... I believe you're a he. I'm assuming. You know, I was thinking, like, in my head, I view you as a he. I don't know, just because your profile looks like a he. But I don't know. I would assume you're I don't know. Okay, you are. Okay, okay. Okay, good. Okay, so what does 9 Dimes need at this moment? What does he need to be reminded? What is his message? Sorry, I'm trying to like focus a little bit and see. Or maybe I can continue talking while I'm doing this. But I was just going to be saying, I was saying that, but if you are going through, maybe there's some areas in your life that you are not like the happiest with, or, you know, if you're feeling stressed or whatever the case may be, like that will come up for you more so in this full moon. Another thing about full moons is it's the end of a 6-month-long cycle. So that's what I was saying. And that's very like astrology, like detail based, because 6 months ago you started something new in your life. Whether you realize it or not, there was like some new beginning happening. And 6 months ago was exactly on June 6th. So what happened to you, if you could think about what new things started, or new feelings or new ideas, something new maybe, if you could remember that far back, happened around June. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's really cool. So now this full moon is telling you that was very new for me. Wow. Okay. So the full moon now is like causing you to maybe have some emotions perhaps towards that, or maybe not even just now. You may have been feeling it for the past I don't know, week or whatever, or like whatever, but if you've been feeling feelings around your experience and whatnot or whatever, and maybe kind of reflecting on like what has worked, what hasn't, and whatever has worked, then you just continue doing it. But whatever hasn't worked, you're kind of at this point of maybe wanting to kind of like let that go. Let something go. There's there's something that needs to like be a close, like a completion, because it's not going to help you kind of get to where you want to be, perhaps. So I don't know. Let's see. Some cards came out for you. So let's see what that card. Okay, so the first card is take your time. So if you have been feeling like you need to rush something, this is your confirmation that you don't. And actually, it'll be better for you to take your time on what you're going through. There's no rush. And the slower you move, the more you won't miss certain things or details that is important or in some sort of way. Um, yeah. So you feel rushed every day. So yeah, maybe not. maybe try to slow down a little bit. Maybe I don't know how you would, but just tell. I'm gonna just tell you that. I don't know what's going on in your personal life, but if you can take your time a little slower, move slower, and not feel like you need to rush, that'll be better for you actually. The next one is talk shop, which is so cool and very Gemini energy because Gemini is a social sign. I think they just are very charismatic and they do well around people. Like they just have this, like they know what to say. They're a people person, and whether maybe I don't know. There may be some Geminis that are introverted, but I feel like once they go out and talk to people, they're able to have like really good conversations. So they just give off this like good energy. So for me, it shows that you need to be talking more. Maybe like expressing your personality more throughout what you're doing, because I think your like gift is your personality in per se, or maybe you need to talk about or talk to more people, because it shows like talking more about your experience or your experiences, your interest, just showing your charisma. So I don't know if you do that throughout your whatnot. Maybe you do. I don't know. Or maybe it doesn't have to apply to whatnot. I'm not sure. But it does show that you sharing more of your interest in what you've learned and who you are with others in some way. So that. And then the next one is vibe check, which gosh darn, this freaking card keeps coming up. Like all week it's been coming up for every freaking body. And it just shows that you need to surround yourself in like good energy. Be careful of like always everywhere you're going, who you're spending your time with, what you're listening to. You need to check the vibe. If the vibes like, and I always say like think of it as a scale. Like from zero is like the vibes do not feel good. You know, it leaves you feeling depleted.